Hi, Andy. It's Emily from Zavvi. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to talk to you about Alfred because for me, his relationship with Bruce one of the favorite bits of the movie. Um, my first question, your relationship with Bruce is for me, well, anyways, it's the emotional heartbeat. So I'm just wondering what conversations you had with Robert Pattison in terms of developing that relationship.
I mean, I think it first of all comes from the way that Matt Reeves wrote the relationship, which is very specific because it chimes in with really where we drop anchor in the story in terms of year two of Batman. So and a Batman that's just forming his ideas and pushing against the legacy of the past, pushing against his family, and therefore pushing against Alfred and everything that Alfred stands for. So it's not the kind of the usual relationship that is associated with it in a Batman movie where they're both pointing in the same direction and all their energies are focused on taking down the villain. They're really at war with each other, or rather, Batman, Bruce, is at war with himself and therefore pushing against Alfred, who's defending that legacy. Alfred is, and that was really what Matt wrote and wanted to examine that void between an Alfred that has grown up, being in a position of being a mentor, but coming from a soldier background and then a sort of moving into the Secret Service and then into close protection and failing at the hour of need, at Bruce's hour of need, and which results in the death of his parents. He cannot step into that void and fill it as a surrogate father, and that was the tension that we really investigated, I suppose, in this version.
Yeah, and talking off that, there's a key scene, obviously we won't talk spoilers, but there's a crucial moment which is such a turning point for both that relationship, but I also think Bruce as well, and it's a rare moment of intimacy in the movie. So I just wanted to talk about, I suppose, what was it like, filming this peak scene for you?
I mean, it was a big build-up, and I knew in advance, obviously, that it was coming for a long time, and you can only have in your mind's eye a kind of a version of it until you're doing it. But then to play it with Rob and you sort of feel the chemistry in the room at that moment, and with Matt there guiding us, it really felt an organic. It just felt its way organically, really. But I was quite scared of it because it was sort of a bit. It was a bit. It is, like you say, a big turning point. Story-wise as well, and in terms of information in the story, but crucially, it is if we'd got it right, it sort of is both poignant and emotional, and it then catapults the story forward in a different direction. So
I think I've got time for one last question. Matt Reeves has this thing about survivor's guilt for Alfred and the survivor's guilt he has over the death of Martha and Thomas Wayne. Was that something that really drew you into the character? Because I feel with your performance, it's something you really tap into.
Absolutely. I mean, that I think is obviously that the weight of that and the fact that he has failed. There's an impotence that he carries as a result of it, and he feels, although he doesn't feel it directly. He's not in the firing line directly from Bruce about it, because Bruce is so enraptured with his own complicated journey that is pulling them apart. It's still something that Alfred he definitely carries, and so that was fuel for this particular fire. Yeah.